Today's Reddit story comes from the subreddit Petty Revenge. School denies me my prescription. I told them I want to call a parent. Little did they know, ... Throwaway, because this story could totally dox me. I don't care if people figure out who I am from this post alone, but don't want everyone knowing my anonymous Reddit username. I will avoid/change details as much as possible and use fake names. I was abused by my dad's wife growing up. My mom fought long and hard to gain custody, but my dad was a, quote, good Christian, unquote, with more money, and he didn't fraternize with black people. Given our location, my mom stood no chance. She finally got custody when I was old enough to where my opinion mattered. I switched from a fancy, extremely competitive, snobby private school to the local public school by choice. I dyed my hair green and put a gay pride sticker on my car. Based on where I was coming from alone, I was a C student at fancy school, so it was not my grades. I was placed in all the honors and AP classes the school offered. The teachers didn't know what to think of me. I had green hair. This was considered absolutely shocking at the time, and my friends and I were bullied for many things, including this. My bumper sticker was definitely the most controversial topic in the entire school. But I was quiet. I came from fancy school. I paid attention in class. I was earning straight A's. Thankfully, although most of my peers shunned me, my teachers realized pretty quickly that I was a decent enough kid. I had a problem where I got migraines. Finally got a prescription for them, non-narcotics, and took it straight to the nurse's office because the district had a zero-tolerance policy, and being in possession of even Tylenol would get you expelled for drug possession. Nurse, you're going to have to get the doctor's signature on this form. Me, why? It's a legitimate prescription with my name on it in the original bottle. Nurse, condescendingly, we're required to have a doctor's signature before we can dispense medications. Me giving 0 Fs. How do you think I got the prescription in the first place? Nurse decided to impress upon me the fact that I was powerless here and that there was absolutely nothing I could do except comply. I left the office stressed because I didn't have access to my migraine medicine, and of course ended up stressing myself out into developing a migraine. Call me a Karen, but I felt entitled to go to the nurse's office and be dispensed my medication, and so I politely requested to be given to me. The nurse obviously told me no, so I asked for the principal. Got the assistant principal, who simply reiterated district policy. Then it occurred to me it was within my power to get my medicine. Because I had a secret weapon, so I had to be sneaky. Me. I like to call one of my parents. This phone call wasn't intended for my dad, a financial consultant. It wasn't to my mom, who works in sales and advertising. Of course, I wasn't calling stepmother. But my stepdad, on the other hand, just happened to be our region's most famous radio talk show host at the time. And he was on the air for another 2 hours. The AP bought me the phone book. Those existed back then. And I looked up the radio station's number in the yellow pages without the AP figuring out which business I was calling. Called the radio station and got the front desk. Of course, lots of people call them, ask for him, and get absolutely nowhere. But I knew they would interrupt the show and he'll take the call if I told him I was his daughter, Royal. In all my life, I had never had a situation that warranted me calling him at work. I was hoping he'll take the call while on air, but he didn't want to air what was likely private business. So he put commercials on while I explained the situation. Then I suppressed a crap-eating grin while handing the phone to the AP to talk to my stepdad, quote, Bill. I managed a poker face. The AP didn't realize he was talking to Bill Jones when he dismissed my concerns and even suggested I should be denied my medication simply due to my pants, which I've been wearing half the year without problem, but apparently were a uniform violation that day. AP basically explained that that's how it is and tough luck and did not realize the crap he just stepped into. He hung up, dismissed me, and walked off looking pretty self-satisfied at winning his little power trip. I went to class feeling victorious. I haven't won yet, but I played my cards and knew how it would turn out. Stepdad got back on air and immediately changed the topic of discussion to the ridiculousness of the district's medication policy. The phone line lit up. Turns out lots of people wanted to air their complaints. I was sitting in class, migraine kicking in, but I was feeling satisfied that their lack of respect for me and all the other more powerless students was hitting the fan. I timed it. 45 minutes after I was arrogantly denied my legally prescribed medication that I needed, the AP came into the classroom I was in, kneeled down beside my desk, and whispered, "Hey, you want to come take your medication?" Fallout. Even more fun, because the school wanted desperately to expel me. But while I 100% can be a troublemaker when I want to be evident disposed, I never did anything for which I could defensively be disciplined. They had nothing on me. I knew it. They knew I knew it. And they knew they couldn't get away with making crap up because Bill Jones. All my friends were seniors, and the school admins didn't realize until the last day of school that I was a junior. I could see the panic in AP's eye. AP, you can take one summer course in English and you'll be able to graduate early. Me, absolutely not. I haven't submitted any college application, and most of the competitive schools I'll be applying to require more than the basic minimum to graduate. I'll be here for another year. AP, would you like to take your high school classes at the community college instead? You'll get high school and college credit. This was barely heard of program at the time, but they wanted to get rid of me so badly I got to rack up a year's worth of college general education credits during my senior year. They tried to F me over, so I F back, and since they couldn't punish me, they rewarded me with just to get me to go away. Comments. My son has asthma. Way back when he was in first grade is when he started having asthma attacks, which led to this diagnosis. However, they mostly occurred during the colder, drier months. At the time of diagnosis, we were not aware that the school would not allow him to carry his rescue inhaler either on him or in his backpack. One day, I get a phone call from the school telling me he had a bad attack that is taking longer than usual to recover from. I had a portable travel nebulizer that I brought with me, and while he was doing a breathing treatment, I found out that he had to keep his inhaler in the nurse's office. I was not happy that we were not made aware of that at all medication, including rescue inhalers, insulin, and EpiPens, were to be kept in the nurse's office until dismissal. I told them that their policy of having a child who's going through a life or death medical emergency walk all the way from their classroom to the nurse's office just to get their life-saving medication was ridiculous, and I'm surprised they haven't cost a child their life from it. I kept him out of school the next day and had a visit with his pediatrician where I laid out everything that happened the day before, as well as telling her the extent of the medication policy. She wasn't surprised. She wrote me a script for 2 inhalers with a doctor's note stating that 1 inhaler was to stay in the nurse's office and 1 was to stay in the classroom. The school can override doctor's order. That's right. I can't believe there are some school districts that has this type of medication policy. It really does not make sense. Like the OP and the commenter had made, when a child or a student is having a medical emergency, it's really important to have the medication with them so they can use it immediately. Not walk all the way down to a nurse's office or wherever medication is being stored. They need to be close by in like the classroom or even the student's backpack. That's where the medication should be. Luckily, at least in my kids' school district, they are allowed to have their medications with them. On the form for the medication, it does indicate from the doctor whether or not the student can administer it themselves or have a nurse administer it. The point of it is that a medication should be with the student themselves. Even if they need help to administer it, at least they have it in hand. That's my personal opinion. I really hope after the OP's incident that the OP's school district has changed their school policy, their school district policy in regards to medication. And I really hope in regards to the commenter about her child who has asthma, hopefully her child's school district has also changed their medication policy too. I would love to hear what would you have done in OP's position. Would you have done the same thing as OP? Do you find this to be petty revenge? Do you think they deserved it? I would love to hear what you guys think. So please leave a comment and remember to like and subscribe. Until next time, see you later.